On a bright spring morning, not a cloud in the sky. Got me out here walking and waving to the ladies as they stroll by. And I ain't forgot for a moment all the things I need to do. But when I see that old sun shining, feel like I can make it too. Yes, and all I really want to say is that the problems come and go, but the sunshine seems to stay. Just look around, I think we found a lovely day. Flowers woke up blooming and put on a color show just for me. Shadows dark and gloomy, I told them all to stay the hell away from me. Because I don't feel like believing everything I do gonna turn out wrong. And vibrations I'm receiving say, hold on brother, just you be strong. Yes, and all I really want to say is that the problems come and go, but the sunshine seems to stay. Just look around, I think we found a lovely day. Sometimes it rains and I feel kind of strange, because it seems like my problems begin without the sunshine on which I depend. So all I think I really want to say is that the problems come and go, but the sunshine seems to stay. And just look around, I think we found a lovely day. Well, I think we found a lovely day. Well, I think we found a lovely day.
Wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourselves with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up. So then, when you're in the way of waking up and finding out who you really are, what you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. The real you is not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe. So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever. And sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting things in the world. This is a yoga. This is a way of realization. Try and imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Think about that. Children think about it. It's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen to you. You will find out, among other things, that it'll pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You see, you can't have an experience of nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. So after you're dead, the only thing that can happen is the same experience, or the same sort of experience as when you were born. In other words, we all know very well that after people die, other people are born. And they're all you. Only you can only experience it one at a time. Everybody is I. You all know you are you. And wheresoever beings exist throughout all galaxies, it doesn't make any difference. You are all of them. And when they come into being, that's you coming into being. You know that very well. Only you don't have to remember the past. In the same way, you don't have to think about how you work your thyroid gland, or whatever else it is in your organism. You don't have to know how to shine the sun. You just do it. Like you breathe. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it?
You know, Anthony, I get tons of emails all the time, and I'm sure you do too, on people saying, well, look, we know the GMO thing is so bad, and, you know, sometimes we have to go out to restaurants and eat, and sometimes we're exposed to it. I mean, we can't constantly just shut our family off from it. And they say, well, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to detoxify our body? How are we supposed to stop the damage? Even when we stop eating GMOs, how are we supposed to get that out? How are we supposed to repair our body?
And I think it's a good question, because all of us at some point in our lives have consumed GMOs, whether we know it or not. I mean, we've drank tap water with a bunch of contaminants in it and stuff. And, well, you're Dr. Detox. You're the literal expert on detoxing. I mean, you're the guy I go to when I want to talk to about certain health, problems and detoxing and stuff. So they have their answer in you. So tell us how we can detox GMOs, or specifically detox out the danger and damage of the GMOs.
Well, the first thing that you want to do is try to restrict all GMO intake. And that's the first thing I say. You have to look at the labels. You have to stop putting GMOs into your system, because GMOs will start immediately destroying the intestinal tract. And disease starts in the intestines, and health begins in the intestines. So what happens is I always start everybody with an oxygen colon cleanse, and then I use a product called Oxy Powder, clean them out really good, clean out their intestines, because GMOs, it's been proven, the Bt toxin actually blows up the stomach of the bugs. So now they're finding in recent studies that actually has the same effect. Of course, the USDA and the FDA and everybody else said, oh, it doesn't harm the human intestinal tract, but it does. We're finding out. And what happens is, when you consume GMO foods, it actually burns tiny holes through your intestinal lining, so big food particles and toxins can leak through into your bloodstream and wreak havoc on your system.
And that ties into irritable bowel syndrome, right?
It ties into irritable bowel syndrome. It ties into constipation. It ties into diarrhea. It ties into chronic diseases, acute diseases. And number one is it ties into allergies. People that have chronic allergies, the telltale sign is that they're eating genetically modified foods. And that's why we've seen, since the introduction of genetically modified foods, we've seen allergies and food allergies in children skyrocket, because kids, especially young children, don't have developed intestinal tracts yet to be able to block that, and just eats holes right through. So the first step, eliminate GMOs from your diet. Second step, do an intestinal cleanse using an oxygen cleanser. Third step, once your intestines are clean, you want to repopulate those with good bacteria through eating organic kefir and organic yogurt, or taking a good probiotic supplement such as Lateral Flora. Repopulate your bowels, start repairing your system, and then move on to a liver and gallbladder cleanse, because you want your liver clean again and being able to produce the glutathione and everything it needs to keep your body healthy. Then after that, you want to move on to a parasite cleanse. And people think that parasites are worms, but a parasite is any type of organism, a bacteria, a virus, a mycoplasm, a fungus. You know, people end up with high levels of candida in their gut as well that consume genetically modified foods. So we want to clean all of those organisms out of the body. And then after we finish the colon cleanse, the liver and gallbladder cleanse, the parasite cleanse, the last thing we do is we do a chemical and toxic metal cleanse. And that is because when you have these chemical toxins, these herbicide residues and all this stuff in your system, those can stay in your system for 6 months, a year, or even more. Those need to be purged out of your system too. And we wait to do that last because we don't want to pull a bunch of those toxic chemicals into the bloodstream without the liver being clean and without the intestines being clean, so they can flush them out. There's natural health practitioners that understand GMOs all across the nation. And the first thing they do for their patients is they take them off GMOs and put them on a strictly organic diet. And within 3 to 4 weeks, they have significant improvement in everything from allergies and everything else. Now, they use natural products on top of that, and they just get great results. I would say one of the best things that all practitioners, medical doctors, everybody can do is to take their patients immediately off of a GMO-based diet and put them on a certified organic diet. And you know what's great? I mean, people should actually start learning how to grow their own food. I mean, that way you can ensure that you're getting good, ripe, organic food. And there's a joy in that. There's a connection to the earth when you do that.
Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much covers it, and I think it's pretty easier than people think to detox GMOs, and hopefully they'll share this video and spread the word that you can overcome the negative effects of GMOs pretty easily.
Yes, you can, and you can do it very
Rub and dig your sole of your feet. Rub and dig your sole of your feet. And he said, one day you find gold. I dig for 30, 40 years, I never find gold yet. I think that I don't get sick for a long while. So maybe those money that you pay to the doctor, you can buy a lot of gold. Okay? So rub your leg warm. So you rub it and hit it. You know? "36 times, it's good. You can hit more if you want." Rub it warm. Now, you started to feel your soul, and when you put your feet down, you started to aware of it more, because this one we call kidney 1. Okay, it's connecting direct to the kidney. We call the bubble spring. It's also connecting right into the earth. Okay. So it's very directly connecting with the kidney. It's very connecting with the kidney. So that's why this point is very important in the Tao practice. for everything. So the Tao practice, they desire a lot of sitting, standing, or moving. Okay? And always so much concerned with about this bubble spring. You have 1, 2, 3 point. 1, 2, 3. Okay? This is all this rubby warm. So, and keep on digging the hole. Digging the bubble spring hole. And one day when you find gold, you can tell me. You rub them and work on all these things a long time, 5 years, 10 years, haven't seen doctor for a while, and you have more energy to work and more creating power. I don't know how many gold you're going to make. And hit them 36 times. You can hit more now. I believe that you hit the soul every day can cure any disease. That means you maybe have to hit 1,000 times a day. If you're sick, you have nothing to do, hit them every day. Rather than sitting there on the bed and looking on the ceiling, you know. At least you have something to do, huh? So we want to doing the soul, very important, the soul of the feet and connecting with the kidney. So we're going to start it to work on the kidney area, okay? Work on the kidney area. Because the kidney area is so much involved with the storing the energy and storing the power. The Earth. 9 planets, Earth affecting us the most. That's all. If you don't in touch with the Earth, I don't know what else you want to in touch with. The Earth energy will rise up and charge your kidney. So feel your feet. You put your hand on the knee. So when you sit in this position, you have a very close connection to the Earth. Okay. So you feel your knee warm, and you feel the energy go down to the Earth. So you cover your knee, and you smile to your sole of your feet. You put your attention, the power of intention. When you aware your soul, and you smile to the soul, you make connection. That's all. You make connection. And started to feel the soul are breathing. And smiling down, deeper, deeper down to the earth. When you relax enough and your sole of your feet open, you feel the frequency, the 7.8 up, 7.8 to 8 frequency. Very light vibration and light electricity. Light electricity. Feel a very high voltage of electricity running from the ground up to your sole of your feet. And run up to your bones, the leg bones. Energy can believe the earth and build up your bone marrow. Continue come up to your sacrum. Smile to your sacrum and see the 8 holes of the sacrum. Have nose and mouth and breathing. Inhale, power of intention, breath. Power of intention, breath. Inhale, soul and the sacrum are breathing.
So then let's consider first of all, what is a mind in the grip of vicious circles? Well, one of the most obvious instances that we all know is the phenomenon of worry. The doctor tells you that you have to have an operation. And that has been set up so that automatically everybody worries about it. But since worrying takes away your appetite and your sleep, it's not good for you. But you can't stop worrying, and therefore you get additionally worried that you are worrying. And then, furthermore, because that is quite absurd and you're mad at yourself because you do it, you are worried because you worry because you worry. That is a vicious circle. So now, can you allow your mind to be quiet? Isn't it difficult? Because the mind seems to be like a monkey, jumping up and down and jabbering all the time. Once you've learned to think, you can't stop. And an enormous number of people devote their lives to keeping their minds busy and feel extremely uncomfortable with silence. When you're alone, nobody's saying anything, there's nothing to do. There's this worry, this lack of distraction. I'm left alone with myself, and I want to get away from myself. I'm always wanting to get away from myself. That's why I go to the movies, that's why I read mystery stories, that's why I go after girls or anything that you do, or get drunk or whatever. I don't want to be with myself. I feel queer. So, well, why do you want to run away from yourself? What's so bad about it? Why do you want to forget this? Why do you want to become absorbed? Because you are addicted to thoughts. This is a drug, a real dangerous one. Compulsive thinking, going on and on and on and on and on all the time. It's a habit. So there's a difficulty about stopping that activity. And you really have to stop it if you want to be sane. Because if I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. Then I'll end up in the situation of having nothing to talk about but my own talking. Or so in exactly the same way, if I think all the time, I won't have anything to think about except thoughts. So in order to have something to think about, there are times when you simply must stop thinking. Well, how do you do that? The first rule is don't try to. Because if you do, you will be like someone trying to make rough water smooth with a flat iron. And all that will do will stir it up. So in the same way as a muddy, turbulent pool quiets itself when left alone, you have to know how to leave your mind alone. It will quiet itself.
Suddenly the rainbow hits us from a different angle. Suddenly our hearts know love's the thread on which we dangle, shining like a